Good morning. It's Nick Macaluso, your philosophy teacher, here with a quick introduction to epistemology. Epistemology is the philosophical inquiry into knowledge, where we ask questions such as, what is knowledge? What is truth? How do we know? So what we're going to talk about today first is, what do we mean when we say knowledge? What is knowledge and how do we get it? How does knowledge come into our minds? Generally in philosophy, we define knowledge as justified true belief. We're going to examine these terms in reverse order to see what we mean when we put them all together. By belief, we just mean a picture of things in our minds. For example, I believe in the existence of cats. So I have a picture in my mind of a creature that looks like a cat, and I say that out there in the world is a creature that looks that way. That's a belief. What does it mean for a belief to be true? There are different theories of truth, and I'm going to post a video about those different theories of truth next time. But for now, we're just going to define truth as true is when the way things actually are matches the way the belief says they are. That is, I have a picture in my mind of reality. If reality is the way my mind says it is, then my idea is true. For example, let's say I have a mental idea that coffee will make you alert. If that is actually what happens in the real world outside the mind, then my belief is true. What does it mean for a belief to be justified? By justified, we mean two different things. But generally, justified means my belief is justified if I have reasons to believe it. If I have some reason to believe it, then my belief is partially justified. My belief is also partially justified if an honest, reasonable person would find no serious objections or reasons to disbelieve it. So this rules out people who are liars, people who are maniacs, etc. So if an honest, reasonable person finds no objection and I have reasons, then I could say that my belief is justified. So there are two different ways these beliefs might come to be in my mind. The first way is through the senses. See, I have a picture of eyes here because eyes are the primary sense. But information about our world also comes through your ears, through the sense of touch, etc. So another way knowledge comes into the mind is through the operations of the mind itself, through logic, through reason, through eliminating the impossible, through thinking to consequences, etc. So that's another way we can come to justify true beliefs about the world, through the operations of the mind. In philosophy, there are two basic schools of thought. One is empiricism, which holds that the primary and most important way knowledge comes through our mind is through our senses. If we don't have any sense evidence, any material evidence that we can detect through our senses, then we don't have sufficient evidence to believe something according to the empiricists. Here's an example of knowledge coming to our mind through our senses. Germs. How do we know there are germs? Because at one time, doctors didn't believe in germs. But now, we know there are germs because we've actually seen them through microscopes. Other people believe that the primary way we come to justify true beliefs about the world is through applying the laws of reason. And these people are known as rationalists. Rationalism holds that information about the outside world, justified true beliefs, comes primarily through applying the laws of logic to what we see and what we sense. The senses can deceive us, but the laws of logic don't change at all. So if we know the laws of logic, then we can come to true beliefs about the world. For example, you've heard about the Big Bang, how the universe began in a Big Bang. That was supposed to be billions and billions of years ago. Obviously, nobody was around to see that. Um, Nobody remembers that. Nobody recorded it. So how do we know it happened? Well, through the laws of logic. We see things today that are flying apart. So if they're flying apart today, that means before they must have been closer and closer together. And you take that all the way back to the beginning and you come up with a Big Bang. So that's the rationalist view of the world, that our knowledge of the world comes primarily through mental operations, through logic and reason. The whole point is to ask ourselves and to think about the things we believe. So think about the things you believe. I'm not saying you should doubt them. I'm not saying you should believe them. I'm just saying you should think about them and ask yourself, why do you believe in them? And that examination is the subject of epistemology. Thank you.